Hi, I'm Marlon John, nationally certified personal trainer and nutrition specialist, here to talk to you today about squats versus lunges for hip flexors. Let's begin with hip flexors. You're probably wondering, what are your hip flexors? Your hip flexor muscles are the group of muscles that allow you to lift the knee up to the chest, like this. These are the group of muscles that are located right here that allow you to lift the leg. These are your hip flexor muscle groups. Let's begin with how squats affect the hip flexors. I'm going to demonstrate a basic squat with both legs down. The one thing you want to remember when you do squats, a lot of people think squats is an up and down movement. It's actually a back and forth movement. And that's where the hip flexors come into play. First thing, put both hands on the hip flexors. You're going to drive the hips back like this. It's a back and forth motion. As you can see, my hips are going back. The hip flexors are being contracted and being extended. It's a back and forth motion, keeping a neutral spine. You don't want to bend over, compressing the spine or flexing the spine. You want to make sure that your hands are up here to keep your body erect. And as you squat down, the hips go back, and then you stand up. Now I'm going to demonstrate a lunge for the hip flexors. Take a gigantic step forward with the knees over the ankle, like this. Come down to parallel, right about here. Now it's important to remember, if you have any knee problems, you may want to keep it a high lunge, like this. The lower you go, the more stress is placed on the knees. As you can see, the hip flexors being stretched on this side. You push back, up to stand, step forward, down, hip flexor contracts and extends. You'll see that as I go down, this hip flexor is being stretched, and as opposed to this hip flexor is being contracted. That way, it exposes any imbalances in the body. So your hip flexors in the lunge are specifically targeted. And that's the difference between doing squats versus lunges for hip flexors. It all depends on what you're trying to target. I suggest a combination of the two. I really enjoy doing lunges because, again, it influences each individual hip flexor muscle group. They can be stretched, they can be contracted, muscles can be contracted, and that way you can see where you have any imbalances. Versus squats, when you squat down and up, if you have some sort of imbalance, it's very difficult to see it, because when you do a squat, one side will compensate for the other. So there you have it. That's squats versus lunges for hip flexors. I'm going to do a few more squats. I'll see you soon. My name is Marlon John, and I'll see you soon.